For everything good, there must be something bad. And in today's episode, let's talk about Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. Hey guys, Brent here for Geek Fans. We cover Star Wars, anime, DC, Marvel, Lord of the Rings, and everything else that you can think of geek under the sun. And for today, we're talking about Episode 4, A New Hope for Star Wars. And we're going to talk about what was good about it, because honestly, this film was the foundational piece for our universe far, far away. Without it, we would have no fandom. We would have no Darth Vader, no Obi-Wan, no etc., etc., etc. And honestly, this film almost destroyed Star Wars before it even got out the gate. It came in $3 million over budget, which in the late 1970s, early 1980s was a lot of money. They had a budget of $11 million. They went over by $3 million, so they're at $14 million. But luckily, this film, upon its inaugural reception, grossed $410 million. So to say this film was a success might be a bit of a small understatement, considering it's almost 40 to, well, I'm not good at math, but this film grossed exponentially more than what it put into the film overall. And that's very, very fantastic, and it gave birth to the trilogy that we know, love, and adore, that most Star Wars fans can agree upon is the best trilogy of them all. And the fan scores would agree with that. 8.6 IMDb, 93% on Rotten Tomatoes, 4 out of 5 for Common Sense, and an 89% amongst Google users would recommend this film to new fans.
Force is strong in this one.
This film that we know, love, and enjoy has carried on for so many Star Wars fans over so many decades for so many great things. And many people love and adore to talk about who shot first.
For my dead body.
Yes,
I bet you have.
But main question, why does it matter? Ultimately, Han had to do what Han had to do. So whether he was the instigator or the defender of himself, he ultimately had to do that regardless of what was going on. Because ultimately we saw what happened with his fate in the very next Star Wars film, The Empire Strikes Back.
Sorry about the mess.
While we're talking about total anomalies here, let's just talk about how little introduction was given for the Jedi mind trick that Alec Guinness pulled off.
You don't need to see his identification.
we don't need to see his identification.
These aren't the droids you're looking for.
And honestly, at the time it was brilliant, and it continued to be brilliant even with the prequels and the stuff that plagued the prequels. The Jedi mind trick is easily one of the greatest things we have seen. And to think that not only was he pulling this off on the commander, he was pulling this off on all the guys around him, because you think that, hey, your commander's going a little rogue, but you're like,
These aren't the droids we're looking for.
He can go about his business.
You can go about your business.
Move along.
Move along. Move along.
dude, those are the droids we need. Why? Why are you saying these things? This is absolutely wrong. We have this down to a T. They are dead to rights. And not one person argued. Every single person just followed orders like, okay, sure, whatever. Yeah, I know each and every one of you has a job, and I'm pretty sure that no job is 100% cohesive and just submissive to their person in charge.
Look out.
Just saying, there's a lot more division than that, so to think everyone just blindly followed this guy and what he was saying when they had everything they needed for the Empire within their grasp. Yeah, I'm just going to say that Jedi mind trick really saved everything that they had going on at that point in time. And then, while we're talking about things that really helped this film, let's just talk about the absolute insane shot that Luke had in the Death Star. Because we're talking about the little thermal exhaust port that was absolutely covered within Rogue One that, later happened. But this whole is about, yeah, big. You shoved two proton torpedoes down the hatch using the force that you just learned about maybe 20 or 30 minutes ago while in space, while under duress. And what you basically pulled off is trying to find the smallest point in the human body with your eyes closed and nailing it perfectly. So to say that there's a little bit of Deus Ex Machina called the Force at play here would be a light understatement, and it goes to show Luke's prowess as both a pilot and with someone strong with the Force. So that has been something we have thoroughly enjoyed over the years. This film score, obviously scored by John Williams, is going to remain one of the cult classics of all time. But personally, I believe there is a lot wrong with this film, but that is what we'll be covering next week. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Be sure to hit that lovely red subscribe button. Greatly helps the channel out and puts you with more like-minded people who enjoy Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Marvel, DC, anime, and more here at Geek Variants. In the meantime, if you're not convinced and don't want to join the channel, I'll hit you with some more great content.